Hello and welcome to the Lund University International Podcast. On this show, you'll hear from current students, alumni, teachers, and many more special guests as we explore what it's really like to live and study in Lund. My name is Sebastián, I'm from Ecuador, and now I'm studying the Master in Human Ecology here at Lund University. In today's podcast, we are going to talk about making friends as an international student. So we have some special guests and also friends here at the studio. Welcome, Diana and Lukrecija. How are you?
Hi Sebastián, I'm good. Hi everyone, my name is Diana and I come from Indonesia. Right now I'm studying environmental management and policy in Lund University.
Hello, happy to be here. I'm Lukrecija and I come from Lithuania and I study actually the same program as Diana, environmental management and policy.
Yeah, and now you're also friends, so you met in the program. That's the topic for today. And yeah, it is often said that in Lund is very welcoming and friendly place for international students. It is true? What do you think?
I think it's mainly true because, for example, in our program, Environmental Management and Policy, we come from 20 plus different countries in the world. So we are so diverse. We are so environmental environment. And we are only 33 people in our class. So given that 33 people came from 20 plus different countries, it's really international. And and we also came from different backgrounds, different professional experience. So it's really diverse.
Yeah, I could definitely agree. I mean, I'm from Lithuania, so it's not so far from Sweden. So I didn't have any big cultural shocks or anything. When I came here, but I definitely feel like I was, really welcomed. And seeing people from like all around the world, you know, coming from Asia and the US, like I feel like they're also having a good time.
Yeah, it's very nice that you have this international environment to make friends, and also like the opportunity to have international friends and Swedish friends. How was for you this experience to get along with Swedish friends?
People say that it takes some time to get into a close circle of a Swedish person. But I definitely made some Swedish friends. It did take longer than becoming friends with international people. But I think it's normal, right? Because internationals, we all come to a new place and we experience the same, let's say struggles and adaptation period. And then we try to, find someone to support us or support others. But then I guess with Swedish people, since they're most of the time already based in Sweden, I think it takes time to, for us to get into their everyday life, right? Because their life is more settled. And they have more maybe family around them, so they're less dependent on new friends. But I think it worked out in the end, and I'm happy to have quite a nice balance between Swedes and not Swedes in my friend circle. How about you, Diana?
Yeah, and also for me, from my experience, I didn't have any difficulties on getting along with Swedes friends because for me, my first Swedes friends was from my corridor. So I live in a student corridor with like 3 or 4, four. Now it's 4 people from Sweden, and they're really good. They're really friendly, and it's like, okay, so Swedes are not that cold and not that unfriendly because my Swedish friends are really nice and we can get along really well. So I think it's not that different to be able to be friend with Swedish friends and international friends. So it's going really well for me.
Yeah, and it's very nice that in Lund you have the opportunity to join, for example, other organizations like for students, and also as you said, Diana, like in your corridor you have this chance like to get along with other people. So is if you want to live in a corridor, it's very cool that you can have some friends there.
Exactly, immediately become forced to spend more time together, right? Because you're sharing a kitchen and often sharing a kitchen. Because I also throughout my time in Lund, I lived in 2 different student corridors, I think. And I definitely made 25 friends. I mean, not friends, but definitely good acquaintances that I can spend time with, and then some of them became closer to me, and then we became friends. So I think my first time in a student corridor was like 4 years ago, early 2020s or something. And then I still have friends since those times that we, I don't know, celebrated Midsummer last week together. So corridors is definitely a good spot to make new friends.
And also, I think for international students, there are several student association. For example, because I came from Indonesia, in the Asian community, they have the East Asia Student Association, which I joined the organization, and it's mainly just we get along and then we do hike together, have lunch, dinner, or some fun activities, board games, like a party sometimes. That's how we international students get along with each other. And we also have like our own community. For example, in Indonesia, we have the PPI, which is an Indonesian Student Association. It's an organization by ourselves, and we always have like this organization every year. So like one person can lead the organization, and then the next one, the new students will become the new leader for the organization.
That's so nice.
That's something like that. So we have the community, we have the organizations in other. I think there are several like student community organizations in Lund.
Yeah.
I think organizations are like a very good way to meet new people. And also like join different activities. If you like sports, if you like art, if you like music, or if you like, I don't know, board games, there are always like different activities you can join in Lund. Also here in Lund it's very common to talk about the nations. So what is your experience with nations? Do you think it's a good place to make friends?
I mean, it's definitely a good place to make friends for sure. So now I finished my master's. So during my master's, I was actually not a part of a nation. I don't know. I don't know. There's no specific reason about it. But when I was on exchange at Lund University, I definitely spent a lot of time in nations. I lived in one of the nations, and that's definitely connected to even more people than just your corridor. And then you can volunteer at the nations. I've done that several times, like cooking lunches, and then you just get to know 2-3 people like really well, because you're spending, 5 hours making lasagna for 200 people. So that makes you close. And then yes, definitely lots of parties, quizzes, karaoke nights. There's so many chances to meet people. So I definitely made a lot of friends for nations too at the time.
Yeah. What about you, Diana?
For me, I actually joined one nation, but I haven't really involved really much until now. So I didn't really participate in the nation community.
But you had your Asian community that's also it's been having so many events. It's almost like its own.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
haha nation. Yeah. No, but there's like endless opportunities. So I feel like you can join a nation, but if you get really involved in your hobbies that are outside of nations, then you can also fill up your schedule. So there are multiple ways I think you can find your way of making the best.
Friends, yeah.
But how about you, Sebastian?
When I came to Lund, I joined the nation. It was Bermlands. So it was interesting. They have this novice period with different activities for the first weeks.
Yeah.
And I remember we had this fancy dinner that's very traditional here, the Sydney.
Yeah.
So it was very cool. Yeah, I met a lot of people there at this dinner, and we have like an after party as well.
Yeah.
So it was very cool. They also had this environmental club, something like that, or group. So it was a chance to meet some people that are interested in environment, as me. I'm studying Human Ecology.
Yeah.
So nations are a good way to meet people.
Yep. They do a good job with the novice, like a newbie period. Yeah, for sure.
And also you have the chance to go to other nations. It's not like you're part of one, you have to stick to that. So but of course if you want. So not everyone needs to be part of a nation. It's just like an optional.
Now that you mentioned about no fish period, I remember about the orientation week in Lund University, which I met like so many new people. I really enjoyed the first 2 weeks of being here in Lund. So Lund University held a lot of activities for new students, new international students.
Yeah.
I remember when I first came to Lund C, the central station, we were welcomed by a lot of international mentors with the blue shirt, and then wow, it's really cool. They are so welcoming to us, and I feel like I feel so welcomed. And then they help us to go to the AF building to pick up our keys and everything. And then after that, Lund University also has the treasure hunt, if I remember correctly.
Yes, like a treasure hunt.
Yeah, like a treasure hunt when we just go around the city and then we collect things, or we do something that needs to be done, and there's some challenges with our groups. So now that I remember, we have the international mentorship group, and there I think it was my first circle of new friends in here in Lund. And then we have the treasure hunt things, we have the games, we have the what else, the picnic. We had a picnic in botanical garden, and then
there's many. They're endless.
There's endless. Like wow, Lund University is really welcoming. I remember the student association fair, where Lund University introducing us with a lot of associations, nations, and I don't remember the name again. All the organizations in here, and that's how I really interested to. I want to register to this one, and then I ended up. Nope. I didn't register.
You can't do it all.
I can't do it all. That's true.
Yeah. No, exactly.
And what about other activities? What do you do usually in Lund, like to meet people or with your friends? Like maybe some kind of sports or.
I mean, I think I also made a lot of friends through climbing, like bouldering, but that I do in Malmö. There's a spot in Lund as well, but I just I go there more in Malmö, and then it's also a really nice community that you then make friends for your hobby maybe, and then this way I made friends outside of the university, so they were maybe not even students or studying in Malmö. So hobbies, as you were saying, is also a good way of making new acquaintances.
Yeah, for example, in my case, I remember that I found this place called Hemgården.
Yeah.
That's not part of the university, but they do a lot of stuff for art, like music, dance classes. And I made a lot of friends, especially from Latin America. They go there. So it was, at the beginning, it was one of my safe place to go when I am bored. And I didn't know what to do. So I went there in the afternoons to study or to do something.
I've heard many good things about it.
So there is always like a place where you can find friends.
Yes.
You just have to explore, and that's a good way of like making friends in Lund. And also these orientation weeks, I think there's a good chance to be part of different activities. And I remember that I joined this mentor group. I think everyone has a mentor group, especially internationals.
If they want to join, they can join. Everyone is invited to one.
So it's a good chance to have friends in these mentor groups.
For sure.
Now I am a mentor, so I also was a mentor the last semester.
Nice.
It was very, you too,
Hey, I was also a mentor, but in 2020. That's been a while.
Can you tell us about your experience with the mentor groups?
Well,
as a mentor?
As a mentor?
I only volunteer for the, what is it called, the Arrival day, So I only welcome them to arrive to Lund C and then help them to go to the place to pick up their keys and everything.
Nice.
So that was my responsibility on the day.
Yeah, I was as a mentor in a group. We had maybe 15 new students, exchange students actually, arriving to us in 2020, early 2020. So we remember that was Corona time. So I had the fun time / responsibility to make them feel happy when everything went to online learning. So it was a different experience. Like we started with the Lund tours, like city tour, and also picnics, and then we ended up with Zoom calls and just playing online board games when the guidelines were. I don't want to talk about COVID. Let's change topic. But how was your mentorship experience?
Yeah, my mentor experience was very nice. We make some very good friends in the mentor group. Yeah, so we were cooking a lot.
Oh.
I remember this Semla day, for example.
Oh, Semla.
Yeah, so yeah, we were like a very, very cooking group. I think every mentor group has a different focus.
Yeah.
So some of them are like more, I don't know, maybe party or other hiking.
Yeah.
So, but it's very nice, and you can also switch groups sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this opportunity to be a mentor. And what else do you have any tips for the new students that are coming? Like maybe some of them are a bit shy, or what can they do to make friends? Because at the beginning, everyone is at the same situation.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I think it's like, don't, I know when you come, maybe, well, especially from Indonesia, like jet lagged and everything, you know, but like it takes time to settle down. But I think it's, seize the opportunity to make friends while everyone is really feeling like new in the place. I think I made quite a few close friends within the first weeks, just because, you know, maybe people have zero friends in Sweden. They don't know anyone. So then it's, that's I think when a lot of connections are made. However, if you do need more time to, you know, really, get yourself together, and then only then you socialize later, like just don't be afraid, and join the activities, push through the shyness. I mean, you can be whatever, like however you are, you're gonna find your circle, as you're saying. Either you're gonna join the hikers or the cooking people or the party people. I think everyone understands where you come from when you're a new student.
Yeah. And also for me, I think it's important for us to be like open for new friends, open for new activities. So just be able to adapt, because we don't know, like in the class we have some friends, and then in the corridor we also have some friends, but then if we join another opportunity, we join another activities, maybe we can also have some new friends, and which can help us in the future for something which we don't know yet. For me, it is important to be open for new opportunities, new activities, for any new things that is happening to us.
And one fun tip, I don't know. I think food, as we all sort of mentioned food during this episode, right? So I think food is really connecting people. And then when you think about it, whether it's international crowd or not international crowd, like you can really, just initiate potlucks. Like people bring whatever they want from their country, maybe, and then you just eat it together, share it together. Me and Diana, we had so many potlucks with our classmates. So imagine we had dishes from 20 different countries in one evening. Oh, like it's awesome. So food is amazing. So just, sharing that with other people. And then when you feel lonely or like homesick, then you just try to gather up with the people from your country or region at least, and then you can share your local cuisine again. Once you're bored of all the international dishes.
I think like food always works.
Food always works.
Always.
Even if you have different groups like the party people or people that like hiking, but when you make food, like everyone. So a good strategy is like to organize some potluck, barbecue or picnic, or, So that's a good tip.
That's a good tip.
But, did you have any challenges at the beginning of making friends, or maybe the language barrier, or? No?
Yeah, maybe for me, language was one thing that I consider as challenge, but not that much, because I know that not everyone here is fluent with English. I mean, it's not their native language, so I understand that we all came from same situation, like similar situation. I'm not native in English, but they're also the same. So then what was important for me was at least they understand what I'm trying to say. Like, for example, like right now, maybe my grammar is just blah, but then you guys understand what I'm saying, and then that's the most important thing. Exactly. That's also happening in class. Like, I know my point. I know what I'm going to say, but if my grammar or my pronunciation doesn't work, at least they understand me and I got my point. Like I explain it.
No, exactly. So I think that is a very fair fear of like being scared with the language, but nice to just once again just like be brave and just understand that you're not going to be the only one, and then you're going to get better only by practicing, and that's lovely. Challenges. I mean, I guess, sometimes you get you like miss your friends from away back home, or like another country you lived in, because when I came to Sweden I really knew nobody, so of course I met new people and new friends quite soon, but it takes time to build like a strong relationship, to actual like true friendship where you can talk about anything. So I think there were rough times sometimes when you feel like, sure, I have friends to hang out with, but can't really disclose everything that's on my heart or like any worries. So I think it's just a normal process of just getting that relationship stronger. So I think I've definitely had some ups and downs with some friends. But nothing. Language for me was okay. Now trying to push Swedish, but that's another topic.
And I think that's a good advice to try at least to learn some basic Swedish, because that helps. And in the everyday life, to order a coffee and if you meet people from Sweden, they like that you are trying to
good
learn
icebreaker. You're trying to say something in Swedish, and then they
and with all the languages also, like some words and you say hi in the different languages, so that's like a good icebreaker. And also, like, I know that in Lund there are different language cafes, for example.
Oh, that is true.
And that's a good activity to make friends.
That is
to practice your language.
I did it a lot on my first year. Like every Wednesday I joined the language cafes and I tried different languages.
Okay, that's so fun.
But now I forgot the one.
I mean, you need to practice them to remember. Yeah, cool. I've done that also in the beginning when I came to Lund. I was keeping up with my Spanish. Now I forgot all of it as well because I stopped going. But also try to learn Swedish through the language cafes. A lot of people actually make friends through that those various cafes, because there's at least 3-4 locations, I think, where they organize it in Lund.
Yeah, there are different. Yeah, I don't know all of the language cafes, but I know that there are a lot.
Yeah, and they keep changing, maybe, so whenever people come, they need to just check.
Yeah, and also it's important to understand that everyone at the beginning is a bit nervous, and because it's an international place, not everyone speaks English in a perfect way, so it's fine if you don't speak it like perfectly. For me, it was at the beginning was a bit difficult. My English is getting better now, but at the beginning was like, oh no, I can't understand everything. That people are speaking very fast. So, but it doesn't matter, So you can practice with everyone, and it's fine. Yeah. What kind of activities do you do usually with your friends, like, or some good memories, for example?
I love going hiking with my friends. There's lots of places that you can just grab a bus and go around Skåne. I was just telling you before the episode, right? Like I went to kayak with some friends in Copenhagen, actually. And there are different ways of, like, you can kayak for free if you're also like picking up litter in the canals in Copenhagen. So I like active modes of hanging out, I think. So I think it's hiking, that food, once again, lots of potlucks and barbecues when Swedish weather allows.
But also we can do it indoor.
Yeah. Then it's not picnics, I guess, right? And then winter, I definitely do a lot of like board game nights, hosting like small dinner parties maybe. So that is super nice.
Yeah, for me it's a bit similar. I love to hike here in Skåne. I explored like roughly everything here in Skåne last summer. I already explore, and then I also enjoy potlucks, dinners, lunch, like food again. Because we are so international, and I like to try new food from any countries, and then that's how we have this experience. Like we can enjoy their food, but we also can introduce our food from our hometown.
Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, lots of like hangouts, parties.
Yeah,
Fikas. Yeah.
Birthdays.
Oh, yeah.
Birthdays every time. Yeah.
The more friends you have, the more barbecues you have to attend.
Exactly. Yeah. And have you been able to stay in touch with your old friends? Like, how was that?
Yeah. For me, it wasn't hard at all because, I still connect with people back home, like my friends back home, like pretty much every day, although we had this 6 hours time difference.
Whoa.
But yeah, it doesn't matter because we are already being so close since like before I came here. So even until now, we are still so close. Like we talk, maybe not every day, but every week at least we had a call, and then we had a lunch, dinner, Zoom time because it's 6 hours time difference.
Yeah.
So
Good job. Yeah, I think I do definitely keep in touch with my friends, but their relationships have changed, or like the ways of communicating. So I would not say that I talk once a week. I try to update my friends once in a while, with a good voice message or a video vlog talking about what's going on. And then whenever we can, we have a longer talk. But I think, but also for me, I've been in Sweden for a bit longer now than you. So that, then you suddenly realize that, the people that are physically near, it's... the ones that I spend more time with or more communication with. But I mean, the technological age, there's all these Instagrams, Be Reals. It's possible to keep in touch if you want to.
Do you have anything else that you would like to add? Like any tip for new students or a good memory that you have lived here with your friends?
I mean, for me, it's like, don't forget to take pictures with your friends because, I mean, especially internationals, they eventually might go somewhere or you might leave. And it's nice to have like also physical, digital memories of your times together. And just organize things, get out of your comfort zone, play music together, dance together, sing together.
Because this is my first international community. So for me, it's really interesting to learn about every one of my friends. So not just us being able to socialize, but also it's important for me to learn about each individual. So for me, it's not a tip, but it's my self-learning. So I also understand the person after I talk, like not a deep talk, but I talk more with with each individual. So then I can learn how is he coming from, like about his background or his previous experience, something like that. So I can better understand about the person itself.
Exactly. Hanging out one-to-one, not just in the group. Because that definitely helps you to build more closeness.
I think also like try to make different friends from not only your group or your language, for example, or your region or your country. Like make an effort to make friends in other like international context and also a Swedish context. So you expand your group of friends. I think that is nice because then your friends invite you to their country. Like, come visit me.
Yes.
It's very, very nice to have that international group. So I think we are going to the end of this episode. Thank you very much to our guests, our experts in friendships.
Yay!
Very nice to meet you, and thanks again for being involved, and let me know if you have any suggestions or questions to the audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Lund University International Podcast. If you are interested in learning more about Lund University, you can go to our website, lunduniversity.lu.se. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and X, and you can chat with the current students on Univadi. Don't forget to subscribe, and we look forward to bringing you a new episode very soon.